Hey, all you world shakers. It's Uncle Dean coming at you from the Bitterroot Wilderness of Idaho again. This is another follow-up video of my cell I developed. Bubblers right here. You might recognize it. And this is the can for it. It's got a stainless steel liner. I got plans down the road to maybe incorporate that in my next level of a hydrogen cell. And anyway, give you a quick idea how this is done. I use tie wraps to hook it together, really. It's all tied together. It's got spacers in between. Stainless steel. I'd have to measure it to give you an idea of what gauge it is, but just offhand, I would say it's at least a 1/16 of an inch thick, maybe a 3/32, closer to that. Anyway, there's where my ground ties in. I had to use copper in some of the attachments. They're going to degrade real quick, but right now this is just my prototype system, and it works really good. And there's another bolt up there you can see, and that's where my other wire hooks on. Now that's two separate forks, more or less, one set inside the other, and they're each bent accordingly to accommodate the other in a low profile kind of situation. But you can see there's plastic spacers in between, and I'm looking at about 30/32 of an inch space in there. Anyway, that's the way it works, and you've seen in the last video how it pumps out. Now I wanted to show you guys another economical way of making a solar cell. Now this, you have to have a bigger can for it, but I was working on a way to dividing it, and this thing puts out mass quantities, and it's cheap to build. You can use a stack of stainless steel bowls that graduate from small to large, or you can go with just a couple of cans. Let me pull this apart and let you see what I've done here. And it's just and all that is just a stainless steel kettle and a stainless steel bowl, and the kettle sits down into the bowl and fits almost like a glove. Well, what I'd done is I took a hose, piece of you can use garden hose, you can use fuel line or whatever, and I just took and cut short sections of it, and then I took and split them down the side, as you can see, and then I just slipped them over the top of here. Now they become spacers. The width of those hoses is what sets your spacing in between your pot and here, and it keeps it pretty much uniform all the way around and on the bottom. So when you put this can in there, then you have an inner and an outer that aren't touching. But I wanted to show you this. What I did for connecting my wires is I just got some stainless steel hose clamps, radiator clamps, and I cut pieces out of them. They're cheap, and they're everywhere, and they're really good stainless steel. And I just took where the handle come out of the pot, I took and clamped it in there really tight. Used a pair of vice grips and clamped it in there so that everything's good and solid. As you can see, good connection. Well, then I just took and made another crimp up here and clamped it. Now this is my ground line, or my positive, whatever you decide to pump into it. And the other one's over here, and it's got the same thing, the other part of the hose, and I just took and cut the edge of the pot in this situation. Let me quit wiggling around so much. That's kind of covered with silicone, but anyway, I just kind of tucked that up inside of that lip and then crimped it with a pair of vice grips down solid. Now it's two good connectors, and you can set the whole unit down into a bucket or something with a lid on it and contain it that way. Now that little piece of pipe, that's stainless steel, and the reason I done that, I drilled a hole through where the handle was so that it would be a vent pipe, because I was experimenting with separating my hydrogen and my oxygen And I'm still not done with that idea. But this thing here, it puts out massive amounts of hydrogen. It's just a couple of cooking pots, stainless steel, all stainless steel. But that thing there's, I mean, it's a monster. And it just bubbles out everywhere under between the pots, comes out from under the lid. You can't put it in your kettle, can't put it in like this. So you have an air pocket in there, and it's just a real pain in the ass to separate. But you put them in together like this, and like I said, you can use little stainless steel bowls, get them at the dollar store for $2 or $3. You got a complete set of cells, and all you got to do is just loop every other one if you're using more than two. But if you're just using two, there's your babies, and that will create the cheapest and the most outrageous hydrogen cell you ever did see. Now, this is a fact, people. Listen to me. And poor people got poor ways, and Uncle Dean's got a lot of poor ways. I hope you guys take this to town and run with it. Please leave me a comment. Please let me know if you have any success with these ideas. And one more thing I wanted to get in here, make it easier on all you people. My little insulators are coming out, but that's okay. We're done with him right now. I want to show you what I did here. I purchased on Amazon a box full of these connectors, quick connectors. They're really, really good, easy to work with. I mean, you just plug your line into them, and when you take it apart, you just compress this little blue tip. You hear it clicking in and out. Well, that releases it. But it's airtight connections. These things tighter than a bull's ass at fly time. Pardon the French. And between a roll of this stuff, it's I forget how much is in a roll, 25 feet or something like that, 25 feet. And between this and the box of connectors, fittings, I think I paid about $26, $27 for the two. So, and they're just excellent for experimenting with. That's what I set up my bubbler with. And as you can see, let me show you how easy these guys come apart. You just push in on that little ring. Now watch, I can't one-handed. There we go. We got one hand, popped it right out. And the same thing for putting them back together. You slap them in there really easy and pull on it. Bada bing, you got a good connection, a good solid airtight connection. This is great for working with this HHO gas. All right, people, this is Uncle Dean trying to instill a few words of wisdom with you. Learn what they don't want you to know. Take it and run. Make it your life. There's so much out there that they don't explain to you, or they just flat won't, that you have to learn for yourself. But yeah, anything's possible, people. But you might want to do that and invest in one of these settings. And I'll give you as much info off of here as we can. Okay, well, have a good one, people, and I hope this has helped you along your journey. And I just kind of wanted to say hello to a young man that's been following my videos, and I ain't gonna give his last name, but his first name's Dylan. And you take care, little amigo. Go with God, people. It's the only truth you'll find.